In 2001, you could buy Adobe Photoshop for $609. One payment, one disc, one license that never expired. You owned it, not a copy of it, not access to it. The actual software, permanently, forever. In 2013, Adobe discontinued that model entirely. Photoshop moved to Creative Cloud, initially introduced at $49.99 per month, every month, until you stop paying, at which point you lose access to everything. Within 2 years, Adobe's annual revenue had climbed by over $1 billion. Every dollar of that growth came directly from people who used to pay once and now pay forever. That wasn't an upgrade, that was a transfer of power from the consumer to the corporation. And Adobe didn't invent it, they just proved it worked. Today I'm counting down 15 things you used to own that became something you now rent. This isn't a list of products, it's a timeline. And by the time we reach number 1, you'll understand exactly how systematic this was. Number 1 is the most personal thing they took, and almost nobody talked about it when it happened. I make one thing. I find out what the shift to modern technology actually cost us in money, in control, and in things that can't be measured. If that matters to you, subscribe now. Number 15, the software disk. When you bought software in the 1990s and early 2000s, whether it was Photoshop, Microsoft Office, or a game, you received a disk. That disk and what was on it was yours. You could install it, reinstall it, lend it, and use it 10 years later without anyone's permission. Adobe's Creative Cloud transition in 2013 was the moment the industry realized subscriptions were more profitable than sales. Microsoft followed with Office 365. Autodesk followed with AutoCAD. The disk didn't disappear because streaming was better, it disappeared because recurring revenue was better. For the company. The consumer got the same software and a monthly invoice that never ends. Number 14, the DVD collection. A DVD you bought at Best Buy in 2004 was yours in a way that is now almost legally unusual. You could watch it, copy it for personal use, lend it, resell it, and nobody could alter what was on it without your knowledge. Your streaming licenses don't work that way. Content can be removed, edited, or made unavailable at any time. Disney has made alterations to content available on Disney Plus that were not present in the original, theatrical, or home release versions, without announcement and without the option to access the original. When you own a disc, you own what's on it. When you stream, you watch what they currently want you to see. Number 13, the iTunes purchase. Apple's pitch for the iTunes Store, which launched in 2003, was explicit. Buy a song for 99 cents and own it forever. The slogan was straightforward. The implication was clear. This was ownership in digital form. In 2018, users discovered that previously purchased movies had disappeared from their iTunes cloud libraries in certain markets due to licensing issues with content providers. Apple's terms of service had always noted that purchased content depended on licensing arrangements remaining in place, but that qualifier was buried. The promise on the storefront said, buy. The fine print said, rent. Number 12, the video game disc. A used copy of Halo 2 from GameStop for under $10 in 2006 was yours in every meaningful sense. No server required, no internet connection, no company standing between you and the game you paid for. Digital game purchases don't work that way. When a publisher decides to delist a title, digital copies become inaccessible. Several titles have been removed from digital storefronts after customers purchased them with no refund offered. The disc was a durable good. The digital license is a revocable permission. Number 11, the physical encyclopedia. A set of Encyclopedia Britannica in 1990 cost around $1,200, a serious household investment. But every word in it was permanent, fixed. Yours to reference without an internet connection, without a subscription, and without anyone being able to change the entry after you read it. Wikipedia is free and vastly more comprehensive. It is also continuously editable, meaning the version of an article you read today may differ significantly from what appears tomorrow. That's not necessarily worse, it's more current. But it is structurally different from ownership. You don't own information that can change without your knowledge. We're halfway through, and the pattern is clear. But the next 5 entries are where it stops being about software and starts being about the things you carry with you every day. Stay with me. Number 10, The ebook. In 2009, Amazon remotely deleted copies of George Orwell's 1984 and Animal Farm from customers' Kindle devices. The books had been sold without proper licensing rights. Amazon issued refunds, but the books disappeared from devices people had already purchased them on, without warning, without consent. The irony of a company deleting 1984 from paying customers' devices was not lost on commentators at the time. Amazon later updated its terms of service to restrict remote deletion in most circumstances. But the incident demonstrated something that physical books never required demonstrating. When your library lives on someone else's servers, it's not entirely yours. Number 9. The GPS device. A Garmin or TomTom unit in the mid-2000s typically cost hundreds of dollars. One purchase. The maps lived on the device. You didn't need a data connection, a monthly fee, or a functioning relationship with a technology company to navigate. Google Maps is free and more current, but it requires a data plan, Google's continued goodwill, and Google's continued existence as a company providing free navigation services. Every time you open Google Maps, you are relying on a service that could be paywalled, altered, or discontinued. The Garmin on your dashboard asked nothing of you after the moment you bought it. Number 8. The cable package. There is a reasonable argument that cable was never a good deal. One monthly bill, most of the channels unwatched, locked into a contract. The streaming revolution was sold as the solution, pay only for what you watch. In 2024, watching the same content that once came through a single cable subscription now requires Netflix at $15.49 per month, Hulu at $17.99, Disney Plus at $13.99, Max at $15.99, and Peacock at $7.99, a combined $71.45 monthly for 5 services, none of which you own. The average cable bill in 2010 was around $75 per month, and it included everything. The math did not work out the way the commercials suggested it would. Number 7. The game cartridge. A Nintendo 64 cartridge had no expiration date, no server dependency, no licensing arrangement that could be revoked. The game was physically encoded on a chip you held in your hand, and it would work for as long as the hardware did. Nintendo shut down the Wii Shop channel for new purchases in January 2019 and has warned that the ability to re-download existing purchases will eventually be terminated. The cartridges from the same era will work forever. The digital storefront comes with an inevitable expiration date. One of those is ownership. One of them was always something else. Here's where it stops being about entertainment and starts being about the objects in your house right now. Number 4 will make you look at your car differently. Keep watching. Number 6, the music CD. U.S. recorded music industry CD sales peaked at $13.2 billion in 2000, according to the RIAA. The vast majority of that came from physical sales, albums and singles that consumers owned permanently after purchase. Streaming revenue surpassed that number in recent years, but the structure is completely different. In 2000, when you paid for music, you built a collection. The CD tower in your bedroom wasn't storage, it was biography. Every album was a decision, a memory, a permanent record of who you were at the moment you bought it. You could lend it, resell it, and play it without a data connection in 1998 or 2048. Streaming revenue is larger, but it produces nothing the listener owns. Spotify can remove an album from its catalog at any point, and does regularly when licensing agreements lapse. An artist's back catalog can disappear from your playlist overnight. Every dollar spent on streaming buys access, not property. The industry is financially bigger, and the individual listener has less than at any point in the history of recorded music. Number 5, the fitness equipment. A treadmill purchased in 1999 for $800 was a durable good. It worked without a subscription, without Wi-Fi, and without a company's continued investment in your ownership experience. It was a machine. You owned the machine. Peloton's connected fitness model charges $49.99 per month for access to classes. Cancel the subscription and the bike's primary functionality is heavily restricted. You own the hardware but have effectively rented the experience it was designed to provide. Peloton's terms allow them to alter, restrict, or remove content from the platform at will, which they have exercised. Several other connected fitness companies have shut down their subscription services entirely after taking on customers, leaving those customers with expensive equipment and no content. The broader pattern here is significant. We are now in an era where physical hardware, objects you can touch that sit in your home, require an ongoing commercial relationship with a company to perform their primary function. The machine is in your living room. The product is on a server somewhere. If the company fails, pivots, or decides your tier no longer exists, the machine stays and the product disappears. Number 4. Your car features. In 2022, BMW trialed a subscription model for heated seats in certain markets, a feature physically installed in the vehicle, requiring only a software unlock to activate. The hardware was already there. The function was paywalled. BMW faced significant backlash and rolled back the program in some markets, but the model it represented has not disappeared from the industry's thinking. General Motors has discontinued OnStar remote features for older vehicles whose hardware no longer supported updated service tiers. Mid-ownership without replacement. You bought a car with a set of advertised features. Some of those features were silently revoked. The car did not change, the terms did. Number 3. The printer. HP's Instant Ink program charges a monthly fee for ink, not for the cartridges themselves, but for the pages you print. If you cancel the subscription, the cartridges you have physically installed in your printer stop working. They are not exhausted. They are locked. This is worth sitting with for a moment. A physical object that you own, sitting on your desk, containing a physical cartridge you may have purchased, will not function because a subscription lapsed. HP has confirmed this behavior in its terms of service. Consumer advocacy groups have raised concerns about it. Several class action complaints have been filed in the United States over related printer practices. The printer is yours. The ink is yours. The functionality is rented. This model, hardware you own, capability you license, is the clearest and most literal expression of where consumer technology has been heading for 20 years. It is also the most difficult to defend because, unlike streaming, there is no convenience argument. You are not getting better ink. You are getting the same ink with a dependency attached. Number 2. Your smart home. In April 2022, Insteon, a home automation company, shut down its cloud servers without warning. No advance notice to customers, no transition period. Every Insteon smart device in every connected home stopped working the same day. Light switches, thermostats, door locks, all of it simultaneously offline. Users had paid hundreds or thousands of dollars for hardware physically installed in their homes. That hardware required Insteon servers to function. When the servers went offline, the hardware became inert. Consumer advocacy groups have repeatedly warned that this kind of orphaned device scenario is rarely disclosed clearly when you buy the product. You were not told, when you bought the smart light switch, that your ownership was conditional on a company's continued existence. Number 1. Your photos. In 2015, Google launched Google Photos with a promise: unlimited free storage for every photo and video you ever took, compressed to high quality forever. Hundreds of millions of people took that offer. They uploaded years of memories, nieces' birthdays, graduations, first steps, last days with people who are no longer here. They trusted a free service with the irreplaceable. In November 2020, Google announced that free unlimited storage would end on June 1st, 2021. Photos uploaded after that date would count against a 15 gigabyte limit. Years of uploads made under one set of terms would now be managed under a different set of terms, with the implicit pressure to pay for Google One storage or begin the uncomfortable process of migrating what you thought you'd secured. Nobody took your hard drive. Nobody broke into your home. The terms changed quietly on a product you had already trusted with everything. The photos are technically still there, for now, on Google's servers, under Google's terms, subject to Google's future decisions about what free means and what it costs. This is the ownership collapse in its most personal form. Adobe took your software, Netflix took your movies, Nintendo took your games, but Google asked you to upload your family and then told you the storage was no longer free. They didn't take your music, they took your memories. Modern technology is not going backward. Every item on this list was replaced by something more convenient, more capable, and in most cases, genuinely better in functional terms. That's real. But capability and ownership are not the same thing. And what was transferred in each of these moments wasn't just a business model, it was control. You used to own what you paid for. A purchase meant something permanent. When you handed over money, you received something that was yours to use, keep, lend, or walk away from on your own terms. That is no longer the default assumption in most consumer technology categories. It happened so gradually across so many product types simultaneously that most people didn't notice the shift until they went looking for something they thought they had. The LimeWire video on this channel covers what happened when the music industry tried to stop digital distribution in the early 2000s. The answer ultimately wasn't to give consumers better ownership. It was to give them more convenient access. Convenient access that someone else controls. What's the one on this list that hit you hardest? The thing you didn't realize you'd lost until just now? Drop it in the comments. I read all of them. And if you want to understand what happened when the internet itself stopped being something you could leave, that video is on screen now. Same pattern, different cost.